Hey family, okay, I finished making the paste. As you can see, it's right there. And it took me 2 hours, a lot. So that's 12 bananas, green bananas, and 4 good size yautía malanga in here. Now I'm heating up the oil. Excuse my thing. I'm heating up the oil. I use vegetable oil. You can use Goya oil, whatever. I'm heating up the oil over here. Let me put it over here. I'll use the front one. Okay. I'm heating up the oil so it gets hot enough where I am going to make my achote oil, which is the anano seed. I'm going to add some in the hot oil, stir it, and let it cool off a little bit. Well, actually, I'm going to strain it, pour it into that dough mix to give it color and a little flavor. I'm going to add salt. I'm going to add a little milk into the dough. And the rest of the oil is going to be used to put on the parchment paper before putting on a spoon, a big spoon of dough to spread out and put your meat and whatnot to make the patty. Now, if I had green bananas, I have the parchment paper, and then I would put the green banana on top. I would cut it to size, and then put a little bit of achote oil on it, a teaspoon. Rub it in a circular so I can put my dough on it, and then put the meat, and then fold it and make my patty. So, because I can't find the banana leaves out here, I'm just using the parchment paper, which is fine. But the banana leaves, like I said, give a lot of flavor to the patty. And banana leaves are used for many cooking recipes. You line the tray with it. You can put rice. You can make a mixture of rice with pork and make a nice dish. You know, and the banana leaves give flavor. Okay, I think, let me see. I'm going to try one in there. Not yet. If you want to test how hot the oil gets, you just drop one seed in there. Once it starts fizzing, then you know the oil is hot enough to put the rest of the anano seeds. And then you stir it with a spoon. Turn off the heat, stir it with a spoon so that the ink from the seed goes into the oil. And I've read up that back in years the natives used to use the nano seed for many things, even tattooing and stuff. So there's history to know. And I think it's getting almost there. And again, I will show you in the next clip. As you can see, I have, this is pork shoulder. I was going to buy a whole shoulder loin, you know, a whole big one, but I'm not making that much and I didn't want to spend that much. You know, we're living in some punchy times right now with finances and the economy and the food prices. So I got a good pack. It's almost 3 pounds. Almost 4 pounds. 4 pounds. And then I bought an extra pack of regular pork chops, which I'll cut up. Because I'm going to make that. I'm going to saute it. I'll show you what I do. Because I'm going to make my own sofrito, which is the Spanish seasoning, which is, I put this in the blender. This is cilantro with onion, garlic, and the red peppers. Put it in the blender, and you can put it in ice cubes or little tiny cups and freeze them so you have little portions. That you can use to saute your meat. It tenderizes it. It gives it flavor. And that's what I'm going to use when I cook the pork, and I'll show you later. All right, let me just do this. I'm turning this off. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see, but I will try to show you. The oil is hot, and it's yellow, vegetable oil. I'm going to put annatto seeds in it. And as you can see, I took it off the heat. And now I'm going to mix the seeds into the oil. And it's actually cooking that seed where it's taking out the ink. And it's turning the oil like a reddish yellow, which is, and as you can see it's turned. And I'll put a little bit more. I'm going to save some. Some of this you're going to pour very little, but some just to give color to the dough and a little flavor of the annatto. You're going to pour a little bit through a strainer into the dough, and I'll show you in a minute. Let me just get my strainer out. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Excuse my... And as you can see, that's the dough. I got my hot oil. And I'm going to pour some without getting the seed in there. I think that's good enough. I don't know. And this you got to be careful that you don't stain your countertop. Now the oil is in there, as you can see, and I'm going to mix it into the paste. So that's annatto oil, achote. You pour it into the paste and you mix it. Actually, I'm gonna need more because it's not really. Okay, that's good enough. Okay, real quick. Now we mix it into the batter. Gives it a little color. And the flavor goes into the batter. It could have been darker though. Try to get the annatto a little darker in the oil. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of the sazon. I'm going to also add some sazon into there. Okay, let's add one packet. Put a little bit more color in. I'll just add one. See how it goes. Because it seems like that's good. Okay. 2 hours of using the grater for the vegetables. Ooh, it takes a toll on your hand. And even mixing. Now, my aunts used to cook for the church to feed the hungry. And God bless them. My sisters, some of them do that now. They learn how to pass it on. God bless them too. And they used to do this in a big bucket. I don't know how, but Lord, they were blessed. So I mix that up. Okay, and I only use green bananas and malanga, yautía. Now there's different ways to make it. You can even put pumpkin, one potato, plantain, you know, that's your choice. I'm going to add a little salt, just a little, because when you cook it in boiling water for an hour, you're going to add a little salt to the water when you're boiling. And if you're watching salt, put a little bit, especially if you have high blood pressure. I'm also going to put a little bit of milk. So I'm putting a little bit of milk. Okay. That helps it too. My dad always did that. Put a little milk, makes it soft, easy to stir. Shoot, it's a lot softer now. A little bit more milk. I would put potato, I would put pumpkin, but I don't want to do that because I think with the malanga and the green bananas, it will be, I don't need the other stuff to make it soft. The other ones make it a little bit more soft. The milk that I just added helps. I just want to follow one recipe, see. So that's ready. And as you can see, woo, a lot. Now I did double recipe. It calls for 20 pieces, 20 pasteles, but I think I'm going to get more than 40 by doubling because this is a lot. So it depends on how big you make them and stuff, but this is the dough. It's ready. Now I'm going to cover it up. And my next step, excuse me. All right. I got the lights from the thing on my face. All right. The next step is making the sofrito, the Spanish seasoning that you take. I have 2 bunches of cilantro that I'm going to put in the blender. And when I put it in the blender, I put a little bit. I would put vegetable oil, or you can put olive oil. You know, I may end up putting, well, I'll just put vegetable oil. Vegetable oil, and then I add that so that it's easier to puree the cilantro since it's a dry, leafy, what you call it, plant-based seasoning. And then I'm going to add the whole onion, and then I'm going to add garlic and red peppers. So I'll show you after what the sofrito looks like once I do it. But those are the ingredients. Some people put the small little Spanish peppers, but I'm just using red pepper, the cilantro, the garlic, and the onion. It gives it a good flavor, and it tenderizes your meat. You can rub it on your meats and leave it overnight, and it'll tenderize and take that flavor really good, especially in the pork. If you make a whole roast pork, you make knife holes on the pork, and you rub that in, and then you add some of that achote, that anano seed oil. You just pour some on top and rub it all over the pork, and then put your seasoning. Oh man, that thing comes out so good. And I'll be back with the next step, which I'll show you the seasoning that I made, the fresh seasoning. And then I'm going to have my pork cut up in pieces. So I'll show you how I add the seasoning in there and cook it in the pot. That's going to be for the patties, the meat for the inside of the patties. So I'll show you that next.